Welcome to St. Louis Presents. Steve, on this edition of the show, we've got some great gift ideas that help a worthy cause. We have some great entertainment options for you and a way to give back during this holiday season.
Those are all good things to think about this time of year. We're going to hear from Operation Food Search, Debbie, and I guess their main mission is to sort of end childhood hunger. And every year they literally help tens of thousands of people on both sides of the river, so we're going to find out what they're doing.
Absolutely, and there's an organization in town that has decided to not only start a business to raise money, but also to give the women in the program job skills so that they can move themselves forward in the future. It's a really great idea called Bravely, so we're going to find out more about that as well.
And there's this group called Magdalene St. and what they do is help women who have been sexually exploited, and that can mean a whole lot of different things, but really to help them kind of get a second chance on life. And what's really interesting, they're sort of launching like this, it's not kind of like a clothing line
Bravely.
or something. Yeah.
It's I already have my eye on the exact t-shirt I'm buying,
Do you?
so I'm going to order it online. We'll tell people how they can do that as well.
Great.
And a theater company that has been in town for 45 years, they've been successfully entertaining families, children, people all over the community, so we'll find out what their secret is and what their next show is.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, so all that and more coming up on this edition of St. Louis Presents. Stay with us. Welcome back. For the past 35 years, Operation Food Search has been focused on ending childhood hunger while providing food and nutrition education.
And our first guest is here to tell us about the hunger problem in St. Louis and how you can help heal hunger.
Welcome to Lucinda Perry. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, first of all, Operation Food Search, let's talk about how it is different than other food pantries or organizations in the St. Louis area.
Well, Operation Food Search is a hunger relief organization, and we recently relocated to Overland, Missouri. And we heal hunger in several different ways. One is through our emergency food distribution services, which we're very well known for. And then we also have several childhood nutrition programs, such as Operation Backpack, that helps elementary kids have food on the weekend during the school year, our Summer Meals program, and also our Cooking Matters classes that teaches people how to cook affordably and healthy on a budget.
I think maybe a lot of people don't realize how prevalent this problem is. And Missouri sort of ranks kind of high on the list of states that have this particular problem.
That's right. A report that just came out from Missouri Foundation for Health cited that Missouri is 7th in food insecurity, which is a very, difficult problem to have for the region. It can see its consequences in all kinds of different ways. In our education system, it affects our health impacts and outcomes, and also, ultimately, the economic vitality of the region.
I really like the idea of the nutrition and the cooking classes because I think that's such an important element. When you don't have a lot of money, when you're trying to cook on a budget, unfortunately, the things that aren't really healthy for you are the things that are the most affordable. So I think a lot of times people feel like they don't even have the option to eat healthy if they don't have a lot of money.
That's right. And what our nutrition education team does is really take the myth and out of the healthy part of it and really makes it practical. Because ultimately, a family that is having trouble stretching their budget doesn't want to try something new necessarily if they don't know if their family's going to like it. So we really take some practical tips and everything from learning knife skills to how to go to the grocery store and shop the perimeter as well as meal ideas, how to prepare that, how to involve your kids in that too. Dinner time can often be a stressful time regardless of what other things are going on in your life. And so we really encourage that when you are able to cook together and enjoy a meal together, that it really creates a family resilience.
I'm curious about these families that you're helping. I mean, how many really options do they have? Like if you weren't here, I mean, there are other food banks and things, but still.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Well, I think that we play a really important role in the community, and a lot of that has to do with the collaborative nature in which we approach our work. So we partner with about 330 different community agencies in the region, and that includes everything from schools to food pantries to soup kitchens to transitional homes, and really anywhere where we can make a difference through food.
Now, where does the bulk of your food come from? Do you have corporate sponsors that do it? Do you have food drives? It comes from individuals? Where are you getting the food that you can then give to people who need it?
So the majority of our food comes from the grocery store industry. It's food that is perfectly edible but is getting ready to be close to its expire date. And then also we partner with caterers and food manufacturers, farmers, really anywhere where we can capture food that would normally end up in the landfill but is still completely nutritious and edible to distribute to families who need it.
And you serve such a big geographical area. You must be helping all kinds of families. I mean, everything from somebody who lives in an urban area to somebody out on the farm or something.
Well, that's right. About 200,000 people each month depend on the services that we're able to provide.
Wow.
And I think that's an important point too, the wide area, because often when we think of people who need that help, people have an image that it's urban poor, but it's so much larger than that.
It is really large, and what we refer to as the faces of hunger is not what people typically might think. It could be your next door neighbor, it could be the child that you're sitting next to in the classroom, it could be the person at your church. It really is such a hidden problem that people find it very difficult to talk about and share, and so that makes it even more problematic to help people sometimes, because they do have a problem asking for help when it comes to food.
People have pride.
That's right, that's right.
Now, during this holiday season, people often feel more charitable than they do maybe the rest of the year, or they want to have their kids, give their kids a good example of doing something to give back. Are there things that you would like our viewers to know, ways that they could give back, or what ways would Operation Food Search most need some help?
Well, the holidays are a perfect time to show your love for the community, and the food issue is something that I think everyone can understand the need, and there are some really simple ways that you can help, not only during the holidays, but throughout the year. And one is to consider holding a food drive at your company or your church or even individuals. We have everything from meal bags to birthday kits that people can put together for neighbors in need. And then we also have food drives, and then you can also donate through our online website. And also, we've just moved into a new facility, and that would be a wonderful time for people to come and volunteer.
All right, and I want to take those cooking classes. I could use some lessons on cooking.
Right,
on
and
a budget.
you really make the dollar stretch. For something like for every dollar you give, you turn it into $21.
That's right.
Wow.
That's right.
I wish I could do that.
I know.
So when you donate to Operation Food Search, you really do feel a very tangible impact, and we're able to stretch that dollar to a really high degree.
All right, Lucinda Perry, thank you for all the work you do in the community and Operation Food Search as well. When we come back, we will tell you a little bit more about the next production from Metro Theater Company. Stay with us. All right.
When you throw away money on wasted electricity, you're throwing away everything you could have bought with it. saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov.
G-morning, sunshine. Wakey, wakey. Text me. Are your parents home later? We can hang. LUV, love you. JK. Holla back. Holla back. Holla back. Are you with your friends? That's lame. We're in a huge fight right now. XO. What'd you dream about? Something I did. Are you on your way to the mall? I'm lonely. Nude pics. Send me some. Text me.
Welcome back. For more than 4 decades, the Metro Theater Company has been teaching and inspiring young people through professional arts. They have a lot of exciting things in the works, and here to tell us more about it, we have Matt Neufeld and Julia Flood. Thank you both so much for being here.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Now, going on 45 years, that is pretty amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I must admit, I am fairly new to the magic of Metro Theater Company, and I'm sure there may be other people watching who have not yet experienced Metro. So can you talk a little bit about what your aim is and what makes you different than other theater companies in St. Louis?
Sure. Our mission is inspired by the intelligence and emotional wisdom of young people. And through that mission, through that inspiration, we create professional theater productions as well as do arts education in classrooms, which is part of the reason sometimes people don't know us, because we're in the classroom and not necessarily always on stage. But we also use the arts and theater to build inclusive community. So the theater has been around since 1973, and we have started more and more to do main stage productions, which is getting us a little bit more known in our own hometown. We have toured to 40 states and 4 countries and reached more than 2 million people in the time that we've been around. So. So we sometimes like to say that we are St. Louis's best kept secret.
No, I was very, very impressed with the production that I saw, which was And in This Corner, Cassius Clay. It was at the Missouri History Museum, and I brought my son, who was 6 at the time. I was convinced there was no way he was going to be able to sit through a play, because he doesn't sit still. He loved it. He was fascinated. So that really takes some special doing to put on a full theater production that will keep little kids entertained and the parents as well.
I think that really comes from this place of respecting all of our audiences. So really deliberately, and Julia and our artistic team really craft the experience so there's a point of entry if you are a young person, if you're a tween or a teen, if you're an adult, parent, grandparent. Everybody comes with their own life experience, but it is all respected, and there's points of entry for everyone. And so we end up having these really amazing multi-generational audiences where families can experience it together, and then we help facilitate the dialogue both there at the theater, and we also give resources so they can continue that dialogue in the car ride, around the kitchen table, and we don't shy away from challenging issues. You know, I mean, young people experience the world the same as all the rest of us. And we believe that by offering them a seat at the table to have a conversation, an informed conversation, we can all address some of the serious issues that are facing our community.
And I do think it's also really wonderful that theater can especially do is have a safe place for people to come together in community and have a conversation. And that begins with the performance, but it continues on in either in the car, as you say, on the way home, or in classrooms, or in the partnerships that we build around a production.
Well, I have to say the Cassius Clay play did spur a lot of conversations with my children, so yeah, it definitely worked. Now we have some props here on the table. We have some dolls and also a book, because all of this has to do with the next production. So talk about that.
Our next production is based on the book, The Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane. And this is a book by Kate DiCamillo, who's a Newbery Award-winning author. A lot of people know her story, or maybe their first entry to Kate DiCamillo's work was because of Winn-Dixie. She has a wonderful really list of books that I personally love. And they are written for young people, but they are, again, stories that everyone can relate to. This is a very theatrical version of the story, and it focuses both on the story of the book, but also on the storytelling. It has live music, it has actors playing multiple parts, and it tells the story of Edward, and he is a China rabbit, and he is exquisitely made in a shop in Paris and goes to live with a little girl. But he lives a very privileged life and doesn't care about anyone but himself until he gets thrown overboard, and that begins a series of adventures. And the Edward we brought with us today is one of 8.
I was going to say, if you're bringing him with, what happens if he falls on his face here?
And Edward, there's one Edward in the story, but the things that happen to him, he changes so fast that the way to solve that problem, so that's a little behind the scenes magic. Because when you watch the play, it looks like there's only one Edward, but there are actually 8 Edwards who are playing the role in different scenes.
Now, when and where can people see this performance?
The public performances of The Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane will be in the Lee Theater. Again, that's at the Missouri History Museum. There's also a vintage toy show that will be happening in the museum, so you could make a whole day of it. It's running from December 9th through December 30th. And there are matinees in the afternoon the whole week between Christmas and New Year's, so it's a great way to get everybody out of the house and go to the theater.
Absolutely. And maybe spur some folks to read the book if they haven't already.
Exactly.
I have not, so I'm putting that on my mental must-read list.
It's a favorite. It's a must-read.
All right, so that is the next show from Metro Theater Company. Make sure you see it in the History Museum, which is really a beautiful theater to have productions. And you are coming up, there's the information right there on the screen, metroplays.org to get all the information. And if you have not checked out a show from Metro Theater Company, please do. And you're coming up on your 45th, so we're looking forward to seeing how you really celebrate your 45th year. I know you have a lot of special things in store. Yes. Thank you so much for coming with us, and we'll make sure to take very good care of Edward as he heads out of here today. Don't touch the rabbit. All right, and don't touch Steve Potter. He has headlines for us. He's got the news. We'll throw it to Steve.
All right, thanks, Debbie. The Missouri History Museum recently premiered the new documentary film, Show Me 66, Main Street Through Missouri. That in conjunction with the museum's current exhibition, Route 66, Main Street Through St. Louis. Both the film and the exhibition mark the famous highway's 90th anniversary this year. The documentary's director will be available for a Q&A after select screenings of the film in January and February. Visitors can learn stories behind the sites and attractions along Route 66 and explore the history of this famous road through July 16th of 2017. For more information, visit mohistory.org. The Steinberg Skating Rink is now open for another season of ice skating. The Midwest's largest outdoor rink offers public skating all day, every day, including holidays. Admission is valid for the entire day, allowing skaters to skate as long as they like. The rink will remain open regardless of the temperature through February the 23rd. For more information, visit steinbergskatingrink.com. The City of St. Louis Department of Parks, Recreation, and Forestry is once again offering free firewood to city residents. This year, the city has added 2 new locations to reach more residents. The free firewood is available in Forest Park in the Lower Muni parking lot, Carondelet Park at the compost and recycling location off Holly Hills Drive, and in O'Fallon Park, north of picnic site number 4. Wood is typically dropped off Monday through Fridays after 3 p.m. and offered on a first-come, first-served basis through the first week of March. For more information, call 314-613-7200. And our cameras recently followed Comptroller Darlene Green as she took to the community to promote Green Help. The Green Home Energy Efficiency Loan Program is a low-interest loan program that helps city homeowners lower their utility bill by creating more energy-efficient homes. Here's a look at some of the highlights of the day.
This is a homeowners energy efficiency loan program. It's a low-interest loan program. The interest rate is 2.11%. and I'm going to get right to it to tell you about what kind of energy efficiency projects that qualify for the program. Okay, you all have your brochures, and you open it right up on this green page. You'll see that your heating and ventilation and air conditioning systems, your HVAC, that qualifies. Home air infiltration and duct sealing qualifies. Doors qualify. Windows qualify. Insulation qualifies. Insulation to your attic or basement, that qualifies. Solar electric panels qualify. Energy Star hot water heaters and heat pumps qualify, and other Energy Star major appliances. Now, this is a program that does not come to substitute for any other grant programs or other loan programs. This is additional monies. Some people are unable to qualify because of income for some of the other grant programs. There is no income qualification on this. So it is additional monies made available with all of the other monies that's in place for home repair through the HUD program, through the city's CDA and all of that. This is one more way that the city is able to reach out and help homeowners that choose to live, work, and play right here in the city.
Well, to learn more about Green Help, you just need to visit greenhelpstlouis.com. Well, Magdalene St. Louis is an organization dedicated to helping women recovering from sexual exploitation, abuse, and addiction.
They recently launched a unique program to help further their efforts. And here to tell us more about Magdalene St. Louis and Bravely Apparel is Hope Jernigan. Hi, Hope. How are you? And
good.
Hope, is love brave?
Love is certainly brave. Going about your life choosing to love rather than to hate or to isolate yourself is a very brave choice, and we see it every day.
Now, I think that this Bravely effort is so interesting on so many levels. You had a big launch party at the Boot Cat Club, kind of a big fashion show, to show off. You're wearing one of your shirts. It's shirts and water bottles and with different hopeful slogans on them.
Yes.
And aside from just a fundraiser for Magdalene St. Louis, talk about what else Bravely is.
Bravely is really about job readiness for the women in our program. Women at Magdalene St. Louis stay in our residential home together. They get connected with healthcare and mental health care, but a really important part for them for really being able to sustain a new life is being able to be in the workforce. So we created Bravely to provide them employment, and while they're at work, they are also receiving training in crucial job skills that will help them go on to earn a living wage for life.
You know what I think is interesting is a lot of people might not understand who these women are. You know, it's easy to generalize, and if somebody's doing things that aren't really good, maybe you blame them for it. But there are a lot of reasons that these things happen, and what you guys do is you take a compassionate look at them and give them a second chance.
We do, absolutely. There's a huge range of experiences out there, and we can put one term on it like sexual exploitation, but that means a lot of things for a lot of different women. What we know about most of them is that most likely they experienced abuse as a child, and that typically led to drug use or coping through other means, ending up, involved in sexual exploitation to support themselves, to get money, to get housing or security. And it's easy to kind of stereotype, but what we do is we consider every woman's story to be unique, and we look at them not saying what's wrong with you, but what happened to you, and how do we help you move forward.
And I think another thing too, that once people kind of change their mindset a bit about women in that situation, is that when you have been a victim of sexual abuse from an early age, you don't necessarily feel like you are in control of your life or even your own body.
Absolutely. It is this feeling that their bodies don't belong to them. And likely women who end up needing services like ours are people who don't necessarily have resources to bounce back from experiences like that. So it just leads them down a trail where they end up really struggling to know that there's a different way for them, and they need a lot of support and a lot of love to help them see.
How often do they get it, right?
Right, it's very rare, and really Magdalene St. Louis is really the only program in our area that offers this kind of comprehensive
And
support.
what I find so impressive, Debbie, is your success rate, because you don't really usually think of success rate for people in these kind of circumstances to be that great. But what are your numbers? It's like is it a third, or what is it?
Well, we're modeled after a program in Nashville that's been around for a long time. They have almost a 75% success rate of
That's
women
incredible.
who never return to their street. So
Wow.
we're still a young organization, but we're hoping to have that same kind of success.
Well, and unfortunately, you probably have plenty of room to grow, because we hear so much about sex trafficking these days and how St. Louis is sort of an epicenter of that. And it doesn't necessarily take place on street corners. It's, happening with young girls sent to hotel rooms and conventions, which is just awful to think about. And it's good to know there's an organization that can help those girls and women get through it. And I think that the Bravely line is such a fun and hopeful way to do it, because you've got Love is Brave. We saw in the video some I am a work in progress. I mean, aren't we all?
Yeah.
But so we see t-shirts. What else is there, and what can we look forward to as the line expands?
So right now we have t-shirts, tote bags, and water bottles. We have several different styles of t-shirts in men's and women's styles. And as we expand, there are just so many ways that we can go with it, but we're planning on adding more styles and colors, eventually adding more apparel, sweatshirts for wintertime, long sleeve shirts, clothing for children. But what's really neat about it is that the women at Bravely are the ones who get to decide what happens next, because it's their business. And so they will be involved in the decision making around what's the next thing that we want to put out there for the community and for people to buy and then become a part of this story of healing and love.
And I think also, as St. Louis is trying to really resurrect itself as a fashion capital, not far from where you are located, there's all of these fashion incubators and all these companies making clothes and fashion lines. So it kind of fits in perfectly with this whole way St. Louis is moving forward.
It does. And what we want to contribute to fashion is messages of inspiration and hope. And that it's not just about the women in our program, because they so fully embody these messages, but it's really about anyone who is trying to live authentically and trying to go about this world in a loving way.
That should be all of us, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, aside from having everybody go online today and order themselves a t-shirt and order one for everyone in the family, it is the holidays after all, are you working on getting them in stores as well?
We are. We are working with 2 stores already, and we have a few more in the hopper. So our current stores, we're working with our Ivy Hill boutique and Rung Boutique. And we are continuing to develop relationships in the area and maybe even nationally.
I feel braver already.
Well, Hope Jernigan, thank you for bringing Bravely products in today, and best wishes with the continued success of Magdalene St. Louis.
Thank you.
MagdaleneSTL.org is where you can learn more information about the organization. Bravely.org is where you can buy your apparel.
And we want to thank all our guests today. They were great. We want to thank all our viewers at home for watching.
Absolutely. We'll see you next time right here on St. Louis Presents.